a great effort went into for over 10 months by Iraqis working also with the Iraq occupation forces. So also the second point is this is not an initiative which been come from outside the Iraqi community or Iraqis. This is a co-creation held together between Iraqis, British, activists, grassroots organizations, people who were campaigning for a long time against sanctions, the period of sanctions, 13 years of the genocide against Iraqi people, against the launching of the invasion, as well as working as activists and protectors of human rights, calling for justice and peace in Iraq, as well as in Palestine. And we link the issues, though we are today only discussing Iraq rather than both cases. I think is so. Hopefully, the workshops and the discussion and the debates today will move us a step forward, no matter how tiny this step. And I'm emphasizing this because Iraqis in general are skeptical about issues coming from abroad. And I'm talking about Iraqis inside Iraq, not British Iraqis. So justice and peace in Iraq and in Palestine is justice for British people themselves. I think, and this is, historically is a fact also, is the realization sadly will only take place when first the cost of occupation will surpass the gains of the occupation, where it is reflected in the form of inflation, decline of economy, increase of cost living. When the war conducted in faraway countries, it touches on the daily life of the country, of the people who occupy, or the government occupied that country. So something to do with bringing it home, and this is happening now in Britain, and it's happening in America. The economy, the vital element affecting daily lives in these countries. Second is the human cost. When soldiers return home, they don't return as soldiers, but they return in coffins. And this pushes people, and sadly again, to start rethinking it is, especially at a time of no immediate financial gain or swift victory, as been promised by the governments. People will start questioning the validity of claims of politicians who've been elected by them in launching the war and the continuity of the occupation, how valid it is at that time. Also, the third factor, the occupation will come to an end when the British government realizes that it is in the British national interest to end the occupation and start recognizing the sovereignty, the independence, the ethical foreign policy, and respect for international laws and human rights laws and other aspects in our countries. But this has come as a last really minute decision, slowly, gradually leading to that. One of the things that we did not really, or two things we haven't elaborated on, and you will see in the points in the Justice for Iraq, and it needs development. That's what I think. First one is regarding the brain drain and the cultural destruction of Iraq. And what we see it as a systematic process of erasing our memory and erasing our history, led by the occupiers. This we need to pay more attention to it because it is very costly a process. Some of the damages being done is permanent, like what we see in our archaeological sites. We have 10,000 archaeological sites. The most important of our sites, like Babylon, being used as camps, military camps by the Americans, walls and ancient pieces there been really put in bags and used to protect these. So these been redeemed like no way we can regain access, and this is, I'm quoting a British archaeologist working at the British Museum. So we will finish with that. But we need a huge amount of money, not just millions, because by the way, the Americans, the USA allocated nothing whatsoever to cover the cost of the preservation and all, and also the as a result of the looting of our artifacts and archaeological bits and pieces, they are all over the world now. We have to work on laws and demands to regain them. Our National Library, the archives and all, it is in America now. It was under the supervision, or it's been moved from inside Iraq by the military to America by collaborating with a certain person called Kan'an Nakiya, and they are there now. And we have no access. Iraqis have no access to them, but the Americans have access to them, and they are the occupiers. So these are part of our memory, collective memory, and the archaeological sites in Iraq, they don't just belong to Iraqis. This is a human, the world's really memory. So we have to put a more detailed account on that.